Chapter 3 Aftershock. The sky had turned a strange copper shade by morning. Jacob couldn't tell if it was still early or if the sun was simply too choked by ash to shine properly. He stood just outside the security booth, wrapped in a mylar blanket Sam had pulled from a battered emergency kit. Leah was asleep inside, curled up awkwardly on the floor, her injured leg propped on a first aid box. Sam sat on an overturned crate nearby, slowly cleaning his shotgun with the kind of deliberate focus that suggested it was more ritual than necessity. Radiation? Jacob asked without turning. Sam grunted. Depends how close the strike was. Could be hot out there. Could just be the sky bleeding dust. Jacob looked upward. The air shimmered faintly, and flecks of gray drifted lazily to the ground like poisoned snow. How long before the government shows up? Jacob asked. They won't, Sam said, matter of fact. Not soon, not here. Jacob turned to face him. But there has to be. There had to be a plan, Sam interrupted. But if they hit DC, that plan's in pieces now. Communications are probably gone. Command structure's fractured. Everyone who's still breathing is figuring it out on their own. Jacob wanted to argue, to believe in helicopters, aid drops, marching lines of National Guard, FEMA trucks with bottled water and satellite phones. But he didn't. Not really. Sam wasn't guessing. He knew. How many cities do you think they hit? Jacob asked. Sam looked up slowly. His expression didn't change. All the ones that mattered. Inside the booth, Leah stirred awake and winced. Her ankle was swollen, the skin around it angry and purple. Still alive, she muttered, blinking toward the ceiling. That's something. Jacob knelt beside her. I checked the supply closet in the garage, found gauze, aspirin, protein bars, and 2 bottles of iodine. No radio, no working phones. She smiled faintly. So 5-star service. Jacob chuckled. It felt unnatural, forced, but necessary. You should eat, he said. Sam thinks we might be here a while. Leah's face darkened at the name. She hadn't said much about the older man since their arrival, but Jacob had caught the way she looked at him, warily, like a stray dog that might bite. I don't trust him, she said, quiet. He saved us. He let us in. That's not the same as trusting someone with your life. Jacob considered that. Sam had offered food, shelter, protection, and not much else. No stories, no reassurances, just grim silence and the ever-present weight of his shotgun. Fair, Jacob said. But we're 3 people in a dead city. We don't get to be picky. She leaned her head back against the wall. No, I guess we don't. Later that afternoon, they opened the booth door and sat together on the garage floor, sharing a meal of stale granola bars and bottled water. The garage smelled like rubber and smoke and something sour none of them could place. The silence outside was still near total. Only the occasional crack of distant glass or shifting metal broke it. This place won't hold forever, Sam said. We've got food for maybe 4 days. No power, no real weapons, and the ventilation's failing. So we leave? Leah asked. Sam nodded. Eventually. And go where? There are fallback zones. Cold War-era bunkers, missile silos, some FEMA camps that were meant for bioterror or nuclear evac. They were supposed to be mapped on national grids. Jacob looked up. You know where they are? I know where some might be, Sam corrected. But it's a gamble. Some were shut down. Others never finished. And if the strikes were as bad as I think, the roads will be blocked, the airfields are gone, and the safe zones will be overloaded or wiped. So we stay put, Leah said. For now, Sam said. But we need intel, supplies, clean water. I'll go, Jacob said before he could stop himself. Sam raised an eyebrow. Leah turned sharply. You? She asked. Jacob nodded. I can make it a few blocks. There's a grocery store 5 minutes from here. A pharmacy near Union. If anything's left. You don't know what's out there, Leah said. Jacob looked at the ash coating the pavement, the melted cars, the skyline jagged with blackened ruins. Neither do you. But someone has to find out. That evening, as the light dimmed into a bruised twilight, Sam pulled out a crumpled map of the city and laid it on the concrete floor. He marked it with a red pen, circling possible routes and known hazards. I've got a Geiger counter, but it's old, he said. If it spikes, turn back. If you see anything military, friendly or not, avoid it. If you find other survivors, don't engage unless you have no choice. Helpful, Jacob muttered. Anything else? Sam looked him dead in the eye. Don't be a hero. Heroes are the first to die. Leah helped Jacob fashion a makeshift pack, 2 bottles of water, flashlight, cloth mask, the iodine. One of the protein bars. She handed him a folded slip of paper. It's my brother's number. He was stationed near Norfolk. I know it's stupid, but it's not stupid, Jacob said. I'll look. She nodded, swallowing hard. As he walked away, she called after him. Come back. He didn't answer, but he raised a hand in acknowledgement. The street was a graveyard. Cars were frozen mid-commute, their windows shattered, doors hanging open. Some had people in them, blackened silhouettes in the driver's seat or slumped over the console. Jacob forced himself not to look too closely. The farther he walked, the stranger the silence became. No sirens, no birds, no dogs barking, just the sound of ash crunching beneath his shoes. The grocery store had collapsed, reduced to a blackened pile of metal and concrete. Jacob stood there for a long minute, just absorbing the loss. At the pharmacy, the roof had caved in, but one wall remained. He pried open the frame and stepped inside. Shelves were looted, glass everywhere. But in the back, he found a half-stocked cabinet of medical supplies, gauze, peroxide, antibiotics, all sealed, all clean. He took what he could carry and turned to leave when he heard a sound. Shuffling. Low. Wet. Jacob froze. A figure emerged from the shadow near the cooler aisle, barefoot, limping, face half-burned and bleeding. The man locked eyes with him and raised a crowbar. Jacob backed away slowly. I don't want trouble, he said. The man didn't speak, just stared with wild, fevered eyes. Then he charged. Jacob turned and ran, out the shattered doorway, down the block. He didn't look back. When he returned to the garage, breathless, bleeding from a cut on his hand, Leah was the first to reach him. What happened? I found a pharmacy, grabbed what I could. He paused. Someone was in there. Alive? Sam asked from the booth doorway. Jacob nodded. Alive, but not right. Sam's jaw tightened. Radiation sickness, burns, trauma. People go feral fast when the world ends. Jacob sat down hard. I didn't think it'd be like this. Sam leaned against the wall and lit a cigarette he'd been saving. It's worse than you think, he said. And it hasn't even started yet.